Welcome back to the Lonely Basement. Baseball cards. Welcome back, everybody. I got the t-shirt. Vintage Trade Night t-shirt. Thank you very much to the 4 collectors. Theo, Sammy, Dan, Pepino Man, Caesar, and who'd I forget? John. Can't forget John, 3D80s Kid. Like and subscribe. It is time for some pickups, guys. I know I think I made a video when I got home. I might have. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I might have. But I wanted to get into the pickups. The pickups, you know, it was a very successful trip, guys. We did not run into Jeff Wilson once. All right. So we had a great time, as we said. And it's all about the community, the people, the fun times. Hanging out with Dan from Steel City. What happens in Dan's hotel room stays in Dan's hotel room. There you go. But I had a lot of thoughts on the other video, and I'll have more thoughts sprinkled in. But I do know next time I need to be downtown and or whatever that area. I need to have a hotel that I can walk to and from, that I don't have to move the car and pay the $15 every day. And if I want to move the car, I got to pay $15 twice, which we did once, which was annoying. But it is what it is. We will jump on it a little earlier if we can get a hotel room, because the National has the hotels locked down. The National has everything locked down. And as we knew with the YouTube gathering, they don't want kids flipping cards. Now, we are not kids flipping cards, except Vintage Oddball Rick, who is a flipper. But they really have the hotels locked down where they can't do any card anything unless it's sanctioned through the National, and it's kind of annoying if you want to get together. But I will say the Misfits get together on Wednesday night. Let's get into that a little bit. I didn't mention that the other day, or on the first video. But the Misfits gathering was amazing. I mean, we had a great time. There was probably about 50 of us or so in there, and that's where Emmett Smith made an appearance, an unscheduled appearance. And we had a great time. But here's the deal. Rick got there early, met with the manager, and told them we were coming. They were a little, but told them we were coming. We started to come. People were ordering food. People were sitting at tables. People were getting drinks. And we were a big group. We were a little crowded in there in the Lowe's. But I kept seeing Mangini constantly going over to the manager and the hostess and talking to them, making sure everything was cool. And there was communication with the venue. And they even asked if we were going to be back the next night. So, communication. Now, on Thursday, we just showed up. And we got the boot. So I do think going in as a grown adult and saying, hey, we're going to have some guys in here. We're going to spend money. We're going to buy some food. We're not kids. We're not rowdy. We're not breaking any rules. That is what you need to do in that kind of situation. Now, in the future, I'm sure we're going to be looking for renting spaces and off-site type stuff, because I'm going to tell you right now, you can't rent an empty ballroom at any of those hotels the week of the National. They'll sit there empty. They are not allowing you to rent something to have competing trade nights or competing card shows, which after that soccer show last year, I think it freaked them out a little bit, and they cracked down. So that is the deal with that. I think it's a different experience than maybe it was years ago, but we evolve in the basement, and we go with the flow. So let's see what some of the stuff we got here is. I don't know if I think I'm going to try to do this all right now. So let's see what we have. First pickup I'm going to show is a cool pack with Donnie Baseball on it. It's a 92 Pinnacle. I saw these on one of those dealer tables for like $1, and Donnie is right there on the pack. Had to get that one. And that is an awesome pack to go in the Donnie collection, not in the sealed wax. It will go in the Donnie collection. Wonder what's inside. Should we rip some 92 Pinnacle? Probably not. So that will go in the Donnie collection. That's just a cool pack to have. I don't know where to put anything because there's so much stuff everywhere. Now let's get into this little stack. So I found these guys. I did the same thing I did at Strongsville. I found the one guy selling 80s cards loose, as I tend to do. But we're almost done with 80s cards. You're going to run out of, you're going to miss them. You're going to miss them on the channel when all these stacks of 80 cards are gone. But we did pick up the 81 checklist because we needed that. Yankees. The 82 checklist because we needed that. Yankees. We got an 83 Shane Raleigh. We're covering Shane. There's the 83 Shane Raleigh. And the 83 Steve Alboni, which completes the 83 team set, which we're just a couple cards short. We just need to find them. And there they are in all their glory. Now, Steve Alboni apparently is a challenge for me because we found this 84 Steve Alboni. We needed that to complete the 84 team set with this Ken Griffey. Now, the 84 team set is complete. Now, 84 Fleer. We needed a lot of 84 Fleer. We still need a lot of 86 Fleer. That's the one we need. That's the one that's hiding from us here, but we'll find them loose somewhere one day. Donnie Baylor, great DH, hit by more pitches than any man in Major League Baseball history, I think still. George Frazier. We got the Goose Gossage. Ken Griffey again. Ken Griffey making many appearances. Johnny Manafusco. Now, this card I got for like a dime, but who's in the back? That is Don Mattingly. That is the 84 Fleer Donald Arthur Mattingly in the background, in the dugout, right there on the John Manafusco card. We did not pay up for it. Omar Marino. Loved Omar in the 80s. Dale Murray. Lou Piniella, Sweet Lou. There he is. The great Willie Randolph. Shane Raleigh again. We're almost done buying Shane Raleigh cards. That might have been the last one. Bob Shirley. Roy Smalley. I know you want to see these, don't you? There he is, Dave Winfield. Hall of Famer Dave Winfield. Who I still need one Dave Winfield card. And I didn't even know this card existed. 84 Fleer checklist has the Billy Martin photo on it. I didn't realize there was photos on the 84 Fleer checklists. And there's Billy Ball and the 84 Fleer checklist. 85 Fleer checklist. Yes! Checklists. 85 Fleer checklist. And then we dug into some 84 Donruss. Rudy May. Oops, Rudy fell. George Frazier one more time. You might see some similar names. Dale Murray again. Dale Murray making an appearance on YouTube. Shane Raleigh. Lou Piniella. Lou was sleeved. 75 cents. Come on. We got a good deal. Steve Kemp. Obviously, we bundled these all together. Willie Randolph. I think these were quarter boxes. Ken Griffey. Now, why is 84 Ken Griffey 75 cents? I don't know. Like I said, we got a deal. And the Gator. And there's the Guidry. Needed that one. Bob Shirley one more time. Roy Smalley one more time. 84s. And, of course, Rags. Dave Righetti. That's an awesome card. Love that card. With the black. The black in the background. Now, we needed a couple 85 Donruss. Steve Kemp. Phil Niekro. The Hall of Famer, Phil Niekro. And we needed an 85 Donruss Ron Guidry. So there you go. This guy also had a couple of, he had like older boxes. He had some 70s and stuff. And we grabbed a 72 Fritz Peterson for a 72 team set. And a 71 Mel Stoudemire. This one is a little, but it was like $1. And it was in the box. Might not even been $1 with all the bundle. So I grabbed it because I needed one. But I probably could use a little better version of the Mel. But that's all right. That will help complete the 71 team set. That is the first stack. Now, this was a 10-cent stack. I think I paid $5 for this. Or no, 10. I think I paid her $10. That was about $10. This is one of the first things I bought. I just saw this box. It was 10-cent boxes. So I said, oh, what's in there? And I started flying through, and there was a lot of Yankees. And I don't know what half of these cards are, so let's just show them. There's a Mariano Rivera. A lot of more modern stuff is mostly what's in here. That is a cool Mo. There's another Mo. Gold Tops. We don't worry about the years on these. Another Mo. Like I said, most of these are like mid-90s or early 2000s, and I just grabbed all the ones I don't recognize. For 10 cents, why not? Another Mo. Mariano Rivera in all his glory. That's a good one. That one's cool. If any of these are worth more than 10 cents, let me know. Another Mo. The Mo's were all stacked together. They were kind of random, but some of the players were like all in order. That is Mariano getting taken out of the last game by Derek Jeter and Andy Pettitte, his last game. And this one I love. I love this set. Like I said before, I just love the circles. Love the circles! Mariano. What is this here now? Oh, there's a leaders card. Active leaders saves card. There you go. The turkey red. Now, this next card is a gold Andy Stankiewicz. Andy Stankiewicz rookie. Gold. Gotta love Andy. We got a Robbie Cano. Don't you know? From the Heritage. 96 Fleer Jeter. I like these cards. They're just kind of cool. Like they're like paper. Baseball cards made out of paper. Who knew? Another Mo. There's a lot of Mo's in this stack. Another Mo. Some of these, I don't know how many of these I have. I might have one or two of them. Another Mo for 10 cents. Not even, because we made a deal. We got a good deal. I basically grabbed this whole stack. Another Mariano. That one's interesting. This is a gift card offer. It's got Derek, or no, is that Jeter? I can't even see who's on here. And Big Papi. Mo and Big Papi and Ichiro from Toys R Us. Now I gotta know. Oh, yeah, it's Jeter. It is Jeter. I'm blind. Jeter. 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 Another Mo. And again, this whole stack was 10 cents, and we're going to show them to you. Alfonso Soriano. Let's see. That's cool. That's a cool card. That is a thick card of Robbie Cano. I don't think it's numbered or anything. It's a thick card, though. Strike Force. Postseason scrapbook. There are the Yanks celebrating. Postseason victory. We got another Jeter. We got another Jeter on the leaders card. Derek, good hit. Mariano. Jeter. There was a lot of Jeters and Marianos for 10 cents. Jeter. Now, if you try to buy this stack at a card show in New York, you're paying like $1 a card for these damn cards. This is a super cool Andy Pettitte. Bowman's Finest, I think, right? Or is it a Bowman? It's Bowman. Shiny. That's a cool Pettitte card. I don't think anything's numbered in here. I think I have this card, but it was in there for 10 cents. So I think I paid like $2 with shipping on the internet, but on eBay. But this is the Coney Intimidator card. That is a cool card. This has the plastic still on there. Another Mariano. The Hurlers. This also has plastic still on there. There's a Dwight Gooden. That is awesome. The captain, Derek Jeter. Let's see. A-Rod, why not? They were there. An A-Rod. This is interesting. This is... Topps. No, Donruss Team Heroes, 2004. There's an A-Rod Team Hero. All right. There was a Donnie in there. I just threw it in. I have this card, but why not? Throw it in there. Fleer Ultra. That is cool. This is like the 71 Topps. Derek Jeter Heritage, right? In the back. That is cool. We got a Deion Sanders Classic. I actually have this whole box over there, the whole set from my childhood. We got a Greg Bird rated rookie. Shiny. Greg Bird rated rookie. Greg Bird was going to be the next big thing. And then he wasn't. Mariano. 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 You think they had Marianos in this box? Mariano. Mariano. Beautiful. And last but not least, Mariano. Excellent. So that stack was like $10. It was more than $10 worth of cards for the dime box. I counted it quick, and then I walked up. I was like, I got $10. She's like, sure, fine. And she took my $10 and gave me these baseball cards. Next up, all right, what's in here now? I'm making a mess already. So these are from Stan. These are binder cards. I already sleeved them up, and they were from Stan. Yeah, look, I have a card. Stan's vintage sports cards. Everybody was shopping with Stan over the week. Stan's a good dude. These were a little expensive, I'm not gonna lie. Some of these are pretty high condition. But there were 72 high numbers, and they're just a pain in the butt. So I just went to Stan, and I checked them off the list one at a time, and there's still a couple missing. I need the Bobby Mercer in action card. Bernie Allen. Johnny Ellis in action. Gene Michael. That's a sweet 72. Like I said, these are sharp. I paid for them, though. Bobby Mercer. Batting leaders. Jim Harden. And we're pretty much done with the 70s, minus a handful of cards now. Steve Klein. I'm going to be sad to not buy Steve Klein's anymore. Boyhood Heroes of Mel Stoudemire. Fritz Peterson. We got the Rich McKinney. I went all in, got the high numbers, spent the bucks. Gene Michael in action, which is a great card. Look at that one. There's Gene. Turning 2, maybe. Maybe it's a stolen base. Awesome card. The old scoreboard in the background. At a 71, Kurt Belfry. One of the 71 action cards. He looks like he struck out. Ron Klinkowski. Ron Klinkowski. That is a low-numbered card, actually. But I just needed it. And the 75 Larry Gura, the mini. Now, I still need 2 minis. I was missing one, and I realized something at the show, actually. I was looking for the outfield leaders rookie mini because I needed to complete the team set with the Bobby Bonds. And I found 2 Bobby Bonds in the show. But the Bobby Bonds was off-centered. I didn't like it. Didn't like the Bobby Bonds. So I passed up on it because the guy had 2. It was from a different dealer. He had 2. And long story short, it was OC and OC. I didn't like the condition, so I passed on them. And they weren't cheap, like a couple bucks. And I couldn't find them anywhere else. Anybody else was minis. And then I found one of the guy with minis, and he didn't have the Bonds. And I realized that the Fred Lynn card is the outfield card I need. So it's the Fred Lynn rookie mini I need. So maybe we'll grab that on eBay one of these days. But I need that to complete the 75 minis. I didn't realize it was the Fred Lynn card. I must have it. I guess I have it, the 75 tops. It's the same card, so there you go. We're going to be here a while. So, Sunday, this guy famously for 3 years in a row, every Sunday, they have a bunch of boxes. And every Sunday, they go 50% off on Sunday to thank the community. So I went in on Sunday, and I met up with Dan from Steel City. We walked around a little bit. I saw Mr. Mangini at the table. After I was there for a while, he came walking up, and he actually bought a card from that dealer also. I was like, dude, everything's 50% off. And he found a Chief Bender item that he picked up. And but I sat there for about a good hour and a half. This was basically my Sunday. I sat there for a good hour and a half, and I went through the boxes, 50s through 70s, and I basically kicked off a big pile of team set collecting. Now, oh, look, this is a piece of gum from an 87 Topps wax pack, which was in the stack for some reason, that I got from the trade night, and I took the gum. 87 Topps gum. So I basically went through and bought all these cards, and the stickers, everything you see on a sticker was 50% off. They take the whole pile, they add them up, and they divide it by 2. Now, interesting fun fact about Sunday. Sunday, the show is quite quiet. Everybody goes, oh, Sunday's going to, like, it's the weekend. Sunday's always quiet at the National. Very quiet. Most of the shopping, a lot of it gets done Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Sunday is quiet. And basically, the lobby was empty. So after I bought these, the guy said $87. And I said, all right. And I bought them, and I did some math. And I said, I wonder if that's close, because I have no idea. Look at all these cards. And so I sat in the lobby. Here's a good one about the National. I sat in the lobby in a chair, empty chair. There was tables and chairs set up by the bar, and there's chairs laying around. So I sat there by myself, talking to no one. There's no one anywhere near me. And I started going like this. And I started adding up these cards because I was curious. And a very friendly police officer walked up to me and said, I'm sorry, sir, you have to put those cards away. And I looked at him. I said, excuse me? He said, yeah, the National says you can't have cards out in the lobby, so you need to put them away. It's for security, for theft for you. It's a theft thing. I said, so I can't look at these baseball cards alone in a chair in the lobby at a card show. No, the National says so. So that is a scene from the National. So let's go through. You know, I put them in team year order, but whatever, we'll go backwards. We'll start at the front. So all these cards are in varying conditions. Some of them are really nice. Some of them are a little less nice. I went through them very fast. This is the kind of thing where there's like dozens of us in the boxes, and we're handing the boxes back and forth. The guy next to me, I was actually pulling cards and giving to him. Like, for instance, in this box, I pulled out a 58 Hank Aaron for $5. Now, it was a beater, 58 Hank Aaron, with a hole punch, but it was $5. I gave it to the guy. I was like, you want this? I don't want to spend my $5 on a 58 Hank Aaron, but looking back, some of the cards I was passing up, I was like, hey, you want this one? Hey, you want this one? Hey, there's a, you know, like big cards. And there were some cards in there that were, they were beat, but they're big cards. For $5, it was probably worth $5. But I was just looking for my Yankees. So this is a very nice Andy Carey, 55 tops. So for instance, this was $5. So I paid $2.50. Go find this card at the East Coast National for $2.50. It's not going to happen. So when you're a team set collector, I'm telling you guys, the National, Sunday, you start going through boxes, you make really good deals. This is a lot of cards for what I paid for it. And these cards, people are trying to charge you like $5, $8 for these in New York. So when I team set build, Strongsville, National, these are where I get good deals because I end up spending more money when I go to these bigger shows in the East Coast. So that is a beautiful 55 Andy Carey. We got a Bob Turley. Yes, I'm going to go through them. Bob Turley. Bob, for instance, was $2.50. On Saturday, he was $5. Bob Grimm. And these are nice 55s. These ones are nice. Some of them are not as nice as these. These are nice. And Frank Leja, 55 tops. Here's some 57s. We got a Bob Turley for $1. Little OC. Like I said, some of them you'll see the different conditions. But that Bob Turley was $1. This Tommy Carroll was $1. I had my book out, flipping through, doing my thing. And I was flying through the cards. We know you're looking for one team. You can fly. Ralph Terry. That is a great card. I love that card of Ralph Terry. The old stadium. The old bleachers in the background. Jerry Coleman. And this one is $1. It's OC. But as my Jerry Coleman 57 tops, it is OC, but it was $1. Tommy Byrne. That one's a little bit nicer. Actually, it's a print line. Oh, well. I went fast. I'm telling you, I was going fast. Gil McDougall for $2.50. You can take it every time. In a 57 tops. I don't know if I have this. It was 50 cents, but I feel like I didn't have it written down on my list. That's why I grabbed it. It was 50 cents. 71 tops. Lloyd Colson and Bobby Mitchell. Rookie card. Felipe Alou. This card was a pain in my butt to find. I don't know why, but there's a Felipe Alou, 72. And then we have some 59s. Murray Dixon. That's a nice card. $3. We paid $1.50. Duke Moss for $1. Marv Thornberry for $1. Norm Seaburn for $1. And Bobby Shantz for 50 cents. We'll take it every time. This one is actually a steal. Not a steal, but you know. $5. 59 Yankees team card. I was missing this from my team card set. And for $5, it's got a little, you know, but it was $5. We picked up the Casey Stengel Sport All-Star Managers. $4. We'll take that every time. 58, Harry Simpson for $1. Kubek, $2.50. We'll take it. That's a good share for $2.50. 59, Art Ditmar. We did some serious dents to our team set collecting. Bob Turley, Bullet Bob All-Star for $2.50 every time. We got a Moose Scourin for 50 cents. Now, it does have some Schmegan up there. I was trying to pass up on ones if they're really bad. This is a staple card. I found a stack of staple cards, and I just bought them. I was like, 50 cents, I'll buy them. Maybe I'll replace them, probably not. Johnny Cuck, staple card for 50 cents. Jerry Lumpy, 50 cents. I actually pulled these 58s out, and I was not going to get them. And then I was like, 50 cents, dude. Checking them off the list for 50 cents. There you go. Andy Carey. Not a stable card. He was $2.50. Or $1. Sorry, he was $1. 5s and 2s backwards look the same. Some of these I might have, the leaders cards I don't have checklisted, so I got to check. But there is Art Ditmar. I think I have this. I was just grabbing them. I was going fast. Is that Art Ditmar? Hold on. This might not be the Art Ditmar. No, that's the Bill Stafford. Art Ditmar is the 61. That's Bill Stafford right there. Down on the bottom of your card. This card cost me $1. It's Whitey Ford for $1. Take it every time. Elston Howard, $5. All right, we got hit for 5 on Elston. I think 5 is the most we paid for any of these cards. $5 on the Elston, 62. Beautiful Bobby Richardson. $4? No. $1.50. Al Downing. That's a pretty decent ship card, actually, that one. We got Clete Boyer with the facade in the background for $2.50. Beautiful. We should go faster. There you go. More 59s. They're not in order. Art Ditmar. Tom Sturdivant. Andy Carey for $1.50. We'll take him. Bob Turley. Kubek for $1.50 every time. Jerry Lumpy. $1.50. That's a good card. Johnny Cooks. And Zach Monroe. And this Enos Slaughter is pretty... This one is a little beat. It was 50 cents, though. 50 cents! We'll take it. There's a 63 Bill Stafford for $1. Bill Kunkel. And obviously, the newer you got, the better condition that you were usually in. The fill-ins, although those 55s are probably some of the better ones. Roland Sheldon. 63 Kubek. Clete Boyer, 63. Great card. Flagpole in the background. Center field. Hector Lopez. We got a Whitey Ford for $5. 63 Whitey Ford. Check that one off the list. For $5, why not? Ralph Terry. Series foes. They were foes. That's Bill Stafford right there. That series did not go well. Actually, it did. We won that one. That's 62. Hal Reddiff. And our pitching leaders card. Hold on. Ralph Terry. Ralph Terry in the center of your program. And then this is the strikeout leader, which is Jim Bunning. for $1. We'll take it. You know, it's 62 series. Willie McCovey slammed one, but we caught it. Johnny James, 61s. Kubek, 61. That is a nice card. That is a beautiful card of Ryan Duran. The glasses. No sunglasses, though. Not that time for old Ryan. Bill Stafford. Bob Turley. That's a good card for 50 cents. I'll take it every time. Duke Moss. This Bob serves a little OC. But it was 50 cents. Need a little top to bottom. But for 50 cents, that'll be our 61 Bob serve forever. Cleve Boyer. Now this card, Danny McDermott, clearly, was not on the Yankees in the picture. Clearly. What do we got here? 60 ERA leader. Hold, please. That's Art Ditmar. That's what I just said, Art Ditmar. On the 61, this is the batting leader card with Moose Skowron. $1. This one I just had to buy. I don't know. I'm not big on scoops, but it was a Garrick Scoops card for $10. This is actually the most. I lied. This is the most expensive card that we got in there. The Garrick Scoops card. I was flying. I saw it and I just threw it in the stack for $10. It's in good condition. Yeah. Scoops. And then we got a Bill Short. Non-playing days. Bill Short. And then a couple more non-playing days. Had to buy them for $5. The Gehrig Babe Ruth card. And the Babe card for $2.50. There you go. All that was 50% off. Go to National on Sunday and get all that for 50% off. Now, guys, we're winding down. I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot. We picked this up for $20. Actually, I'm lying. $30. Beautiful. I've wanted this for a while. This is the Topps poster. And did not have one. And I've looked at them several times, $70, $60. But we got this one for $30. It was a good deal. He had the whole stack. And I think that was the right price. I didn't want to overpay for it, but I wanted it. So I think that was the right price. And we paid $2 to buy a sleeve for it because we needed one. These are like paper, so you can't obviously carry them around. So I had to pick it up. I actually put it in my book. I slid it into my book. And then I walked right over to one of the guys who sells all the plastic and got that. All right, we're winding down. Get ready. All right, so we are building the 84 Topps team set. The guy who I got all these from, the 80s cards, had 84 Topps. So my plan on Sunday was to go back and go through his box and do my 84 Topps because I have like 100 cards left to complete that set I just started to put together. But I never went back. On Sunday, I actually walked into general direction, and then I was like, you know what? It's time. It's, we've been here all week. We got a huge drive. Like, it's time. We're not going through 84 Topps. So we bounced. I might end up paying more for those cards in the future because I would have got a good deal at the National, but we'll see. But I did see this flipping through a box, and I needed it for the 84 Topps set, and we got us a Darryl Strawberry for our 84 Topps set. A Mets card. This might be the most expensive card I need. I think I need like a Ripken probably, but the Darryl's probably one of the most expensive cards I needed for the 84 Topps team set, or 84 Topps complete set. So we picked it up, and it was $5, and I think that was what we actually paid. I think we paid $5. So there you go. Darryl rookie, $5. Unless you count the traded. Next up. Now, if you remember, I've showed before, I bought this set at a flea market, and it was missing 2 cards. The Frank Thomas rookie, which I have multiple copies of, so I'll just take one of that and throw it in the factory set. And this card was missing. So we picked up the Bo card. Never owned this card. Always needed one. And I think we might have paid $8 or $10 for it. It's in good shape. $8 or $10. I got a good deal. And this card will go into the factory set with the Frank Thomas, and that set will be complete. So that's why we needed that one, because somebody pulled it out of the flea market box before I got to it. And last but not least, one of the last cards we actually bought before that stack on Sunday, we were wandering around. I saw John Mangini right at that time. This guy had a box like Hostess and randomness, all kinds of, randomness. And I just was flipping through, and I saw this is the 77, right? Yeah, 77 Hostess of Reggie. I do not have this card. I wanted this card. It's a beautiful card. I love this card of Reggie with the glasses, with the shirt hanging out. Classic 1977 style. I wonder what jersey's in the background there. I can't tell. Got a 4 on it. Somebody's wearing like a green A's jersey, it looks like right there. So I'm guessing this is airbrushed. Yeah, it could be an older picture. Could be an older picture. But there's Reggie in all his glory. And I paid $2. It's not a great condition card, but it was like $2. And for $2, we'll take a Reggie Hostess every time, because we did not have that one. Beautiful. All right. Plastic, guys. Let's see. All right, this card I've wanted for a while. I've actually bid on this card several times, and I don't need like a high condition of this. I just wanted a copy of it. I didn't necessarily even need it slabbed, but let's open these. But it was early on in the show. My budget was flush, and I came across it at a very reasonable price, and I made him an offer on it. He said yes, and we bought the card. Hold on. Some of them are painted out to get out. So this card, I used to play a lot of golf, and I don't need to buy golf cards, obviously, based on what you see me buy. But this is the one card I did want a copy of, and that is the Jack Nicklaus rookie card. He has other cards from different things, but this is like the first official real set. This is Donruss, and I got it for $25. I bid on this card like several times, like $40, $45. And it is an A6, if you care of such things. And for, $25, I was all over it. Little OC, but this card is often not centered. These cards are a pain to find centered. And I just wanted a good bargain copy of it. And there it is. So that will go in the collection of non-baseball sport cards. And we will cherish it, because we love Jack Nicklaus. Jack Nicklaus is pretty much my favorite golfer. Him and Freddie Couples were my guys. Used to play a lot of golf. I haven't really played the last couple of years, but I used to play quite a bit. Leagues, the whole bit. Tournaments, all that. I don't think I could beat Greg from Midlife Cards, but, give me a little something. We'll see what we can do, Greg. Give me like 10 strokes. Maybe 15. Maybe 20. I haven't played I literally haven't picked up a golf club in at least 2 years. Probably. So, let's get into some Yankee slabs. Here we go. All right, first card I bought. I think this is literally, might have been the second card I bought. I think I bought that manually junk wax stuff first. But this is one of the first cards I bought. And I got this from the table where Garrett, George, and James were at. But there was a younger guy there, not Garrett, who had 2 cases, I think. They were kind of sharing the table. And I think he had 2 showcases. And I saw this card. This card's been on my list that I wanted for a while. Because there's only one Yankee in the set. And that is the Wilson's Franks, Enos Slaughter. Look at the hot dogs. It is an A2, if you care of such things. It is a beautiful card. I like it a lot. I don't know why it's a 2. I'm not staring at it too much. I'm very happy to have added the Wilson's Franks. My first Wilson Franks, probably my only one. Well, I'm lying. I would like to get the Campy, a decent, if like in this kind of condition one day. I'd like the Campy. So I may need one more Wilson's Franks. But there's the hot dogs. Enos Slaughter, Wilson's Franks, 1954. Beautiful. Super happy to pick that up. Next up, This card I wanted for a while. It's on the team set list. Obviously, all the cards are on the team set list, but this card I've wanted specifically for a while in a certain condition, and I found it. I found it for a good deal. I think I got the right price. I think it's the right card. I'm super happy. My 61 Roger Maris in a 5.5. If you care of such things. Look at that. Look at the centering on that 61 tops. I am super happy with this card. I paid, I believe, below comps. I paid 150 bucks for this card, and that is a good deal. This card is tough to find centered. This is not like 50-50, but I think it's pretty darn good. It's pretty darn good, and it's a 5.5. And I was looking at cards like this card for a while, maybe like 6 months or something like that. And I was looking at 4s for like 125 bucks that were OC. And I found this bad boy in a 5.5 at the National for 150. Beautiful. Next up. All right. Let's skip ahead. Skip one. This card was kind of a very impulsive buy. This card I got at Trade Night. Trade Night! Vintage Trade Night. Good job for collectors. Kicking butt. This is a 1964 AL Bombers. And I got this from B-Roth. This card is in a 4. If you care of such things. It is in a 4. It is very well centered for a 64 AL Bombers. They're typically left to right or right to left, depending on which way you like to look. But there's the Mick. Right there. There's Roger Maris. Right there. Norm Cash and Al Kaline. So this has Mantle and Maris on it. It's an amazing card. And to get it in a 4, really well centered. And I got a good deal from B-Roth. B-Roth, you're the man. Brian Roth gave me a good deal on this card at Trade Night. And I am super happy to have it. I couldn't pull my money out of my pocket fast enough when he told me what he'd offered to me for. And we made a quick, easy deal. Easiest deal of the National was this card from B-Roth. Excellent. We're down to 2. 2 cards, guys. This next card has been on my list for quite a while. And I picked it up from Howard Chasser. And Howard gave me a good deal. And believe it or not, I got a good deal from Howard. Thanks, Howard. The 69 Mantle Transogram. It is in a 4. It has the dots all around it the entire way. I was thinking about buying the box. I was thinking about buying the box folded, and I kind of leaned towards getting the card. There's the back of the box, or the inside of the box. 69 Mickey Mantle Transogram in a 4. Beautifully cut all the way around. I'm not sure why it's a 4. I didn't really deep dive into it, but it is clean. It is cut square all the way around. It has no edges. There's no creasing. I don't know. A couple people looked at this card with me and were like, why is that a 4? It doesn't make sense. You should resubmit it. I don't know. I don't know. I see nothing on the back either. But we'll take it. It's a beautiful card. Thank you, Howard. Big card off the list of eyeballs. There you go. And last but not least, big boy cards. Just because I had it sitting on top, we purchased this card from Chi-Town. That's a little bit of an interesting story. Chi-Town Sports Cards. First off, this guy was upstairs. Now, I was looking for this card for the whole show. And if I say that, you probably know what it is. But I was looking for this card for the whole show. And they were there, but they were expensive. And I was having a mental crisis for 2 days about the prices, because there were cards. I looked at a copy of this card that I looked at Strongsville, the exact same copy. That was like 25% more expensive at the National than it was at Strongsville. And I was trying to decide if the market on all these cards have gone up or if it's just a national bump. And I don't mind a little national bump, but I don't want to pay a big national bump. I looked online. I think the market has just moved. I could be wrong. I could go to Philly later and they could be a lot cheaper and I'll have overpaid. But Mantle cards never go down. That's one thing I've typically learned. So I saw this one upstairs on Saturday. Upstairs! Upstairs, I'll explain to you who weren't there, was a mess. It was a really decent sized space, and they crammed all the tables into a very small portion of the space, and they had a huge area in front, which was basically the same amount of space as the show, the tables, with a big carpet and one little national booth where you could get like tickets. And it was like no one was getting tickets upstairs because you got your tickets downstairs. Everybody got in downstairs. So why do you need this booth upstairs? Who knew? So there was no room between the tables. There's basically two people in the aisles, and then you were jammed. There was a lot of modern upstairs. There's a lot of the dealers that couldn't get in that had signed up, and a lot of modern upstairs. And there was a lot of people. Mojo was upstairs, for instance, had a table. People like this. So it was crammed. There was a couple bigger modern dealers up there who just got in for the first time, and they were crammed in there. So you couldn't walk down the aisles. So upstairs was a bit of a mess. But I did walk it a couple times, and on Saturday, because I said, listen, there might be something hiding up there. I cannot look. So I went upstairs, and I found this card on Saturday, very late on Saturday. And a couple of younger gentlemen were at the table. And I said, can I see that? And I immediately kind of wanted it. It was priced high. And I kind of said, hey, what can you do there? And he said, let me call the old man. Let me call my dad. He left already. It was late. Like I said, it was like the last half hour of the show. And he called him, and he says this is what I'll go to. And I said, no, it's too much. I need to go down further than that. And I said, I'll come back tomorrow and talk to him. They said he'll be back in the morning. So I came back the next day, and I brought some heat. I went up there with Joe, Jason, everyday card collector, and his friend Joe. And Joe is a very knowledgeable guy, very strong collector. He buys, he sells, he collects, and he's a great dude. Love Joe. And he was around us all week and hung out with him a lot, walked the floor with him a lot, walking him a Strongsville. And Joe helped me look at the card. Jason helped me look at the card. They helped me comp the card. Joe pulled out the VCP. We went through some talks. We pulled out a light. We really reviewed the card. There was a 2 of the same card that Joe actually helped me decide not to buy based on showing me some stuff on the card. I was like, oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. It was kind of had the wave and might have gotten wet before. So that card I immediately, I really didn't want it. It had a print line, and the print line was bothering me right away, and I was kind of like, I don't want that card. But it was cheaper. So I was kind of mulling it maybe, and Joe kind of helped me check that off the list. So we're looking at this card, and the guy, says, this is what I need. This is what I need. I had a number. We were $100 apart. And I said, I had a number. And he had a number. And we were going back and forth for a while. We finally kind of got to that stalemate where I said, I'm here. I'm overpaying already, in my opinion. We talked about the pricing. And he kind of said, listen, they're all going for this. This is what they're at. And I was like, yeah, but like 2 months ago, I could get one a lot cheaper. And should have bought it 2 months ago then, Keith. And we kind of discussed it. I kind of came to grips with the pricing and kind of decided if I wanted the card and I had the money, I should just buy it, because I doubt maybe I'll get it a little cheaper down the line, but probably not. Or if it is a little cheaper, it won't be a lot. It won't be a lot cheaper. It was my theory on the card. So I said, I'm walking away. I said, thanks so much. Appreciate your time. And we literally turned and walked away from the table. And he called out to us. We took like 2-3 steps. We were gone. We were literally leaving. I wasn't buying the card. And he called out to us, and he said, let me look one more time. So I said, all right, maybe we have something going on here. Maybe the walking away worked, because often walking away on higher value things does work, because you're going to get the guy at his real bottom if you're willing to walk away and he doesn't think he's going to move it. So he looked at it one more time, and he said, I'll tell you what. let's flip. We were $100 apart. He said, let's flip for $25. And I'm like, at this price point, we're not flipping for $100. $25, I'm like, so we flipped. My first coin flip ever. People kind of started paying attention when we were coin flipping. It's funny, but we flipped the coin for the $25, $25 over what I wanted to pay, and $75 down from what his last offer was. And I won the coin flip. The basement won the flip, and we never win coin flips. I called tails. I was feeling comfortable with tails. Called tails. It came up tails. Joe picked up the coin from the floor, carefully showed him the tails, and we got the card. So thank you to Chi-Town Sports for the deal. And when did we pick up after that long story? We got our Red Heart Mantle in a 4, if you care of such things. PSA graded. It is centered pretty well. It is beautiful. Basically, if you want to know, there's a few like little dots on that corner. No creasing. Nothing of major concern. 54 Red Heart Mantle. The most I've ever spent on a baseball card. Ow. We keep breaking the record. We keep breaking the record in the basement. I don't think we're going to break it for a little while, though. I don't think we're going to break it for a little while. 54 Red Heart Mantle. Beautiful. We are super duper happy to have added this to the collection. It is a card we have coveted for a very long time. It is a card we looked at throughout the last, say, 6-8 months. Pretty hardcore. It was the card we were targeting. Number 1 in Strongsville and number 1 at the National, and we finally found it. Now, the one I looked at in Philly, I think the corner, it wouldn't have something like this corner on it, but I think this one's a little better centered. But the one in Philly, which I could have bought in the spring, was about 25% cheaper. But I looked the whole show, I looked at a lot of them, and I looked what they were charging at the show. And the question is that national fee, or is the market just up? And I feel like the market might just be up. I grappled with that. I talked to a lot of guys about this very specific point for like 2 days because I was annoyed on Wednesday and Thursday. I was like, it was annoying me. I was like, I'm not paying these prices. This is stupid. This is stupid. This is stupid. But I gradually came to the feeling that if I could get it for the right price, and I overpaid a hair compared to what I could get it for at the beginning of the year, I'd be getting a decent enough deal that the value eventually would come back to me. And listen, if they're a lot cheaper in 2 weeks at East Coast National, I'll probably be annoyed. So there it is, my 54 Red Heart Mantle. Beautiful. Super happy to pick that card up. There's Mick, smiling, beautiful blue. It's got great color, great registration. Very happy. Look at the centering. We'll take it. We took it in the basement. I believe that's all the cards. I believe that's it. We've done it. We have spent almost an hour showing you our national pickups. National was awesome. We had a great time. And it was great hanging out with everybody. Super duper week. The drive was worth it. Saved me a lot of money. Didn't have to fly. Didn't have to park my car at a New York City Metro airport for a week. I will tell you, next year I got to be down in the area. I got to try to get a hotel closer to the area so I don't have to deal with moving the car and all that fun stuff. But that was the biggest issue I had the whole week, was that I was I was literally 3 miles away from the convention center, like up the road and to the left. It wasn't that big a deal, but it wasn't walkable. So that was my one thing. But we had a great time. We have a lot of cards in front of us. We have a lot of sorting to do. We have a lot of top loading to do. That's a lot of top loaders. Wow. I still have cards not sorted from like 2 months ago. As far as the channel goes, guys, we have pickups and gifts over there that are sitting on my table that I need to get to. I have stuff from probably like a while ago that we need to get open and we need to look at and have some fun with. But I'll leave you with this parting thoughts. I bought this card. Biggest card I've ever bought. And not 10 minutes later, we walk away from the upstairs and we go downstairs. Me, Jason, and Joe. And if you've heard about it, there was a guy who had a lot of Z-nuts and stuff. And we wandered down 10 minutes after I bought this card. 10 minutes. We walked down and we walked by his table and we're talking and we're just kind of browsing. Joe wanted to see the Z-nuts and he was looking for stuff. And I looked down in the case and there's a 67 OPC Mantle in the case. Mid-grade. Really nice card. I was like, damn, 67 OPC Mantle. I need that. I asked to see it. I bought this 10 minutes before. Still on the high of buying this card. He hands it to me and I take a peek. And I said, what's the best you can do on it? And he says, $450. I was like, that's a good deal. I said, Jason, that's a good deal on it. He's like, that's a really good deal on an OPG. I had $340 in my wallet. $340. And it was $450. And I said, really want this card too. Really want this card. I pulled out my phone, I looked at my bank account. And I was like, I'd go to the ATM and get this $110 and buy this OPG Mantle. It'll round out, some of this team set stuff I wouldn't have, but it would round out the week real solid. I looked at my bank account and I was like, no, Keith, you had your budget. You set your budget. That money's for bills. That money's for this or that. You're done. You're not getting any more money out. So here I am, 2 days later, after the National. And the only thing I can think about is that 67 OPG Mantle. Have a good one.